Just to clarify, there will be no major spoilers shown in this video, and I would like to ask you guys to keep the comment section spoiler free as well. With that said, am I the only one who thinks everything in this game packs quite a punch? Metroid Samus Returns is finally released, and this time her latest adventure tackles Samus with going to the depths of the uncharted planet SR388 and wipe out all of the Metroids that reside deep within its caverns. A task that you'll soon realize isn't exactly easy, as you start to find your way around a planet with dangerous environments, hostile creatures, and an evolving life form that wants nothing else than your death. Rest assured, this is probably one of the toughest missions Samus has ever faced. Okay, this game can be quite difficult at times, and that is why Albert is here with some little tips and tricks to help anyone who's having a hard time survive their journey on SR388. A difference from the other games in the franchise, Metroid Samus Returns starts you off with a plentiful amount of missiles, which can one-shot almost any enemy during the early sections of the game. So don't feel afraid of using them to clear a path in your adventure, since you can collect plenty of expansion packs later. If you find yourself in a bit of a trouble finding the whereabouts of a particular Metroid, the scan pulse can come and help, since it will cause the parasites to roar, letting you know that they're located nearby. Additionally, you can always return to the Chozo statue with the Metroid counter, and it will give you the location of one of the Metroids in the area, just like the added function of the Metroid amiibo. In case it wasn't obvious, you can easily tell when it's the right time to counter an enemy by the small circle effect they have moments before their attack. This detail correlates to the Metroids as well, so use it to your advantage to learn when it's the correct moment to use the new ability. This time around, you can tell for how long an enemy will be kept frozen by the amount of ice that is actually seen on them. The more you hold a charge shot, the longer time they will remain frozen. It is also worth pointing that frozen enemies won't deal damage on contact, so you can use this to your advantage when speedrunning. Samus Returns has a secret way for you to execute some quick kills by using the Ice Beam in a similar fashion to previous games. You can actually shatter a frozen enemy with a missile, regardless of how much they are frozen, resulting in an instant kill. But if you find yourself low on ammo, you can always do the same by using the arm cannon with a melee counter, and you can even perform this while in the air. When fighting the Metroids, try to shoot their core with a charged Ice Beam to stun them for a moment and negate any special abilities they might have. This will also cause a small amount of damage to them. And if you ever find yourself low on ammo or health during a fight, you can always shoot the small sparks they drop to collect additional pickups. Whenever you collect a new item from a Chozo statue, you can get a full refill on your Aeon meter afterwards. Keep this in mind for whenever you find yourself planning your backtracking routes, as it can come in handy to replenish your resources. Just to remind everyone that if you ever get yourself into a tight spot or made a mistake when speedrunning for the different endings, Samus Returns allows you to reload your game from either your last visit to a save station or from the last checkpoint in the game. These checkpoints usually happen before or after any major cutscenes, so it's a good way to have a second try at anything particularly challenging without wasting too much time. Samus Returns probably has the easiest wall jump in the entire 2D series, since this time around it works a lot like the recent platforming Mario games. All you need to do is hold the circle pad in the direction of the wall that Samus is facing and press the jump button again in mid-air. Simply repeat the process with the next wall to get some extra height. Remember to use Aeon abilities to your advantage whenever you find yourself in a tight spot. The Lightning Shield and Phase Drift especially can come in handy to help you survive some of the tougher boss fights. So don't forget you have access to them, like I do most of the time. Use the newly added pins on your map to leave any reminders of areas you might want to return to, or any items you haven't managed to find yet. This could potentially help you avoid losing time remembering the areas you wanted to visit later, and help get your bearings on the map. The screw attack is probably one of the strongest weapons in Samus' arsenal, since it can destroy almost everything on contact, and you usually find it late game because of this. However, you can get a similar effect early on in your adventure by somersaulting into an enemy while holding a fully charged shot. just keep in mind that it doesn't have the full strength of the regular screw attack. Samus Returns wouldn't really be a true 2D Metroid game if it didn't have multiple endings, and it feels that the remake has taken a note from the original game to determine which is the ending that you get. There are a total of 3 different endings that vary in how long it takes you to complete the game and on what difficulty you do so, for a grand total of 9. Instead, collecting all the items this time around will unlock the chosen memories that give you an insight into their past on the planet, regardless of how long it takes you to do so. Samus Returns might just be one of the toughest installments in the series that can present quite the challenge to even the most hardened of veterans. Hopefully these tips might be of some use to anyone who's struggling with completing the game or speedrunning through it to get the best ending, and ultimately serve as an extra help to survive their journey through the caverns of planet SR388. Let me know of any extra tips you might have in the comments, and as always, thanks for watching.